Hello,
Chang Ming. Can you say
Tommy.
hi to everyone? Okay, so
Hello.
Hi.
So Dr. just briefly introduced Chang Ming, and we talk about we're gonna start your interview now. Okay, so later on I will just translate for you, and Dr. will ask questions. Okay.
Yes, so Chang Ming, we really like comfort book for nervous children. Can you briefly introduce us this book?
Sure. Okay. Firstly, thank you for inviting me for talking about this book. Yep. So I was invited to do this project in a space that looks at using, I guess, photography outside of the exhibition space. And as part of my proposal, I wanted to do something that was in the space and also something that was in a book form so that the work can live beyond the exhibition space.
他想要就是他被邀请到就是 Objectifs 做这个计划项目，然后他想要实验在这个展览里面，摄影可以作为就是其他种展现的形式，然后在这个书籍的就是这个媒材里面可以去从这个摄影然后转换到这个书上面。
Yeah, so I wanted to look at this idea of the subjectivity of the text and the image. So I was using my own photos that I took and then inviting a collaborator as a writer to respond to the images with text in any kind of way that they wanted to.
所以呢，他就邀请了他的好朋友，他待会会讲，应该会讲到他，就是 Victoria。他邀请他，就是这个计划是以影像还有文字这两个东西的交汇去做的。那他邀请一个人来帮他做编译。
In the past, 10 years of my life, and it's just personal photos of maybe my friends and things that are from everyday life or like things that of a certain mood, and then I wanted to put it together in this book, but give those images to someone else and see how they will respond to it in pictures. Sorry, in text.
所以他邀请就是另一个摄影师，然后这是他一个累积了10年的资料库，然后他邀请这个人用他的角度去分析、去转译这些照片。
Okay, so so this book you collaborate with Dennese Victoria, and I think she's photographer. Why do you want to ask her for contribute the text inside? 然后我想要问他，就是他跟这个合作的对象是 Dennese Victoria， 一个菲律宾的艺术家。然后他其实做了很多摄影的作品，然后但在这本书里面，他其实为长明的去写了很多的文本，然后穿插在书的不同的部分。然后所以我好奇问他说，为什么他是找摄影师来去做写作，然后而不是两个人一起再去做就是照片的编排这样子。
Yeah. So I know Dennese because we did an exhibition together before, and I really like her work a lot. And I feel there's a lot of resonance between her kind of interest and her aesthetic sensibility and my own interest as well. So I also know that she does a lot of other things besides photography, whether it's videography or working as a creative writing teacher in school. So at that time, she was like teaching high school students creative writing, and I thought, okay, since someone has this kind of understanding of images in the same way as I do, I want to see how they respond to my pictures in terms of using writing.
所以他找就是 Victoria 原因是因为 Victoria 跟他一样都是摄影师，然后他是在高中教课，他就很好奇，如果不是一个文字为导向的人，也是一个摄影师，他会怎么样去理解这些作品，然后他会怎么样去解释这些东西，所以他就把他10年的作品都给了就是 Victoria 这样。
You can continue.
Okay, so I guess the process of our collaboration was that basically I gave her like this whole bunch of photos, and then we had a few like Zoom call meetings about how you want to do this, because it's a very open-ended project, and we decided that I would give her a sequence of images, and then she would write something over like maybe 2 or 3 months.
所以他们就交换，因为他们一个人在菲律宾，然后一个人在新加坡，所以他们因为这本书就交换了一些就是讨论在 Zoom 上面，就也是因为如此，我们今天就是这么卡的原因，就是因为 Zoom 它就是交换一些在 Zoom 上面的讨论，然后现在我们看到的就是长明的影像，然后他的文字没办法看得很清楚，然后大家等一下如果有兴趣的话可以来翻这样子。
So Victoria, she like you guys look at the photo together and then she decide what to write about the text. Is this the process?
Yes. Yeah. So initially she wanted to write a story about a mother writing a letter to her son. I was like, okay, sounds like a good idea. But eventually what was written in the book was kind of a mix of her own personal writing and also a semi-fictional kind of story, almost like a diary.
所以他决定，就是菲律宾的摄影师 Victoria 决定要把这个文本当作呢是写给他的儿子的。然后长明觉得，这是一个很不错的想法，有点像是一个日记一样。
Yeah, and for I guess the photos, initially I had done a sequence of photos for her to follow, but when she came back to me, she completely changed the order of photos and she did a layout kind of design on PowerPoint, and she asked for more photos as well that I didn't give her.
Okay.
他后来他把整个长明觉得他本来原本想好的他的整个序列都改变了。
So do you guys will edited the photo sequences together, or it's only you edited the photo?
So initially I edited the photos, then she changed it completely. Only the first picture is the same as what I wanted to do. But I really like her editing process, and I feel like I was very amazed because I couldn't come up with this kind of sequence. Yeah.
其实他原本因为他是一个编辑，然后他有一个 publisher 叫 No Fun， 所以他其实已经把所有东西都排好了。但是其实后来这个 Victoria 这个女生改变了所有的她的排列方式。
She has a method of editing the photographs, or it's more by instinction?
I think she's the same as me. It's just by instinction, like intuitive kind of editing. I know that she printed out a lot of small photos and put it on the floor and then moved it around, which is also what I did. But this is exactly what I was interested in exploring, like this kind of different subjective readings of the same set of images.
所以我刚刚问他说，就是他在编排这个照片的时候，就是那个 Dennese 他就是有没有自己的一个方法？然后长明他就说，就是其实他的方法就是也是一堆照片，然后把它摆在地上，然后比较多的也是用他就是比较直觉式的去跟着他的感觉，然后去编排。所以他觉得这个过程非常有趣，因为其实这个方法他之前也是这样子用，但是编出来的每一个人编出来的照片是截然不同的。
Yeah, and I guess she also arranged the pictures in a way that works well with the text. So the text is also done in relation, of course, to the pictures that she edited.
So how do you arrange the? Because I think also the text inside with the layout and the images, I really like the flow. So how about this part, the relationship between the text and the images? How do you decide on that?
Actually, I would say 90% of it, in the final product you see, it's actually done by Dennese. I just followed kind of her layout, and I made suggestions based on like how I would think it would work in a print version. So for example, having stuff that's not too much in the gutter, in the center, and certain images that might not work when you print it physically. Yeah. We actually removed quite a few of those pages because we have a lot of double spread photos and they get eaten up by the center, right? So I said, okay, you can have more of one on one side and one on the other side.
所以他刚说，就是他们在编排那个文字跟影像的时候，他长明是大部分做的那个90%的设计，然后剩下是就是 Dennese 他在去就是做一些微调，然后他们。
So if you
Sorry.
Flip back to the yellow image.
This one.
And the one before that.
Here.
It gets eaten up, so this is an unsuccessful one.
She wanted to be.
But Dennese want this one to be on the center.
Yeah.
哦，但是他刚刚说他这个在这一个页面的时候是他本来不想要让这一张就是在至中，然后让整个书就是刚好切在一半，但是 Dennese 想要他觉得就是这样子再放在中间会比较好。She has a reason of why she wants to put on this on the center.
I think it's more about having big images versus small images. Yeah. Also, I guess when she's editing, it's thinking about the flow of when the viewer looks at things. There's taking two spreads or only one side of the page, or a bigger full bleed image versus a smaller image, and then having the text on either side.
Oh, so actually in this book, I do notice like all the pages they are all is it the full size, full white, and then only the text is like it's not in the normal layout, like just in a linear layout, maybe like that, but only like so the text is very like a bit floating, and then it's like with very it has a like subtle rhythm, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess thinking about the page as a space as well, and the text as raw material, not just simply just words.
所以我们刚在问他，就是那个影像跟文字之间，然后他怎么样子去决定要怎么样子去做那个版面的配置，然后他就说他就是这个文字它其实都是算是比较肉的那个材料，然后他会去让这些文字做一些比较活泼一点的跳跃，然后并不是像就是因为我刚说我觉得这个影像它其实大部分都是满版的，然后只有文字是它会就是出现在一些比较不常见的地方这样，然后所以它就是整个会看起来比较活泼。So I want to ask her, is there any interesting things happen in your process?
Well, I guess I was surprised that in the end the kind of text that she gave was different from our original idea. And I think we were both thinking about how although we want to move away from a more personal narrative, we keep coming back to this very personal and intimate kind of imagery or text or like kind of narrative. And even though it's personal images and text, at the same time it's very open-ended. So we kind of felt like we got like kind of hiding our secrets inside. So these are like personal narratives, but at the same time it's kind of open-ended and poetic enough that and when others look at it, it is also open to interpretation as well.
觉得就是在这个编排的过程中，有趣的是，就是这些影像最后并不是会照着他想要的方式去生成，然后就是在这整个影像，因为其实这本书是非常私密的，就是从他这10年之间，然后他就是有点算是个人的那种情感故事，然后比较私密性的，但是搭配上这文字，同时间就是又有一个非常他说很开放式的一种就是解读，就是你可以去比如说联想这个文字跟这个图片的关系，但他们可能同时间也毫无关系。
We're all very curious because you are both editor and photographer. And is there any funny thing happen between the process, or did you guys fight?
Do you guys have any argue about it?
I think we are both very peaceful persons. I think there wasn't much disagreement because we both understand each other quite well and we know each other quite long. And when she came with her design and the layout and the text and all that, I was very happy with it already. So it was kind of just minor changes from there. I think part of the project that I wanted to do also is to let my collaborators not really respond in the way that they want to respond. Yeah.
所以我们刚刚就是问他说，你们在那个沟通的过程，在合作过程有没有一些抓马，或者是有没有吵架？然后他就说没有，他们其实都是一个非常和平的人，然后他们就是有提出，比如说想要看的那些照片，他们排出来一起看，然后他们就会一起讨论，所以其实并没有太多的就是意见相左的时候。I think this book is quite different from your previous book. So, but I don't know if it's because of the photographs or it's because of the editing. But I think it's in a really good. The outcome is really good. I really like it, and it's somehow quite poetic in a way.
Yeah. Oh.
I think.
Okay, I remember.
Oh, you remember? Okay, please.
Yeah, so I mean for this project, because I was invited by Objectifs to do it, I had a production budget that in a way don't have to worry about selling it. So we have in a way have a lot more freedom in how we wanted to do it as well. And initially actually I had in mind to just print a very simple zine, like 40 pages or something. Like when Dennese came back with the design, it was 100 pages. But I feel like I couldn't cut out any pages, so we just stuck with it. Yeah.
他被邀请到做这个计划，然后他们其实有给他一个 budget， 就是有一点预算，然后所以他可以去做他想要去做的那个，就是这个展览，然后跟这个书。他其实本来想要做的是就是简单的 zine， 因为其实长明之前做的书的样子就是比较偏轻薄一点的，然后骑马丁装的，然后页数并不算是很多，然后但是Dennese 就是希望说他觉得可以做一个更完整的一点的，就是比较像是书一点，然后比较有分量一点的作品。
Because those are all your picture, like your 10 years archive, and you pass it to Dennese, and she write a text related to her son. And what was that? Like why?
Her initial idea was just a fictional story, so she doesn't really have a son. Just imagining, it's just a fictional story about a mother writing to a son, I guess. Yeah.
所以他说，其实他的另一个就是帮他编辑的朋友是写给一个幻想的儿子。
不是幻想的儿子啦，是他说他其实这个是虚构的，
对啊，就是幻想的人呢。
是对，但他幻想就是他写给他儿子。
We will leave your book here with our Taiwanese audience, and I think that's great. We will just end this session here. Yes? Okay. So
I think it's really late now.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and we hope we can talk soon. Bye.
谢谢长明。We will leave you to go to bed. And if everyone interested about his book, please go to downstairs. We have a SEA reading room. 我们有就是如果大家喜欢长明的书的话，可以到楼下的那个 SEA 阅览室，然后可以去翻他的书。然后就是我们就要让长明回家睡觉了，因为他现在已经快2点了，所以我们跟他说晚安吧，拜拜，晚安。